So I decided to make a video about O2. The reason I decided to make a video about O2 is I got another one of these sort of stupid messages off them about wanting reviews about O2. And one of the things I always find bizarre about these sort of firms is you tell them their service is bad, cool, they don't do anything to improve it, then they send you a similar thing, again, nothing's gotten better, even slightly better, it's even gotten even worse, which should be impossible, and then they send a review. It's just so stupid. I mean, if you want to improve your service, you would have done it years ago. I mean, O2 itself, to give you some history into how good it used to be, around 10 years ago, here's how O2 used to work. This is how good it used to be and how bad they are now to compare it. So, in the past, about 10 years ago, it works like this, O2. You'd basically be able to phone them up most times, quite easy, like, hey, I got this issue, can you give me some help? They'd sort it for you very quickly within around half an hour time to pick up a phone call, compared to now you've got no phone calls you can call them on anything. They try and hide very hard their emails. You have an app which basically never works most of the time. They've now merged with Virgin, who Virgin normally always do a terrible service. I guess it'll get worse again. So how exactly did they expect the review to go, or for anyone? I mean, do you expect someone to say, yes, it's a great service, fantastic, great, go team? No, it's terrible service. The app itself can break any moment of the day, which isn't useful by any means. Next, even if you want to phone up and pay a bill, the number itself seems to go down more and more as time's going on. That's not impressive. Now, the company itself, according to what I've read, the company itself is meant to be worth approximately $600 million or £580 million. So, do we have enough money in this company to have, good customer service? Yes. Do you have enough money to employ confident people? Yes. So, if you have all that money, then why are you releasing an app that's utterly terrible, which can fail any moment of the day, a website which seems to break any time of the day? I mean, have you not got enough money? I mean, you can quite easy, if you want to take the extreme, even if you want to go cheapskate style, which it seems to be your whole stick nowadays, you can very easily pay someone from Asia like $200 to build a website which will run better than O2. You can quite easily pay someone, if you want to take the extreme, $50 to $200 to build an app which will run better than O2's app. So this whole crap service is not impressive when you can do these things. Even if you're going to take it extreme, you can build a better service in seconds. And with artificial intelligence as well, it wouldn't be very hard for someone to do that. But instead of that, you have this whole, what I call boomerman logic in place, where rather than, doing what you're supposed to do, a good service, it gets worse and worse. That's why I would never recommend O2 to anyone anymore, because the service is terrible in every way. The only advantage of O2, this is advantage only, is their phone network is generally better than other ones. That is the only advantage in the world for being with O2. Their prices are normally most expensive in the majority of cases. Anything can go wrong with them, which can happen any time of the day. So the only advantage you have is a phone network. If you want to use your network, I'd recommend you go for a cheaper version, which is giffgaff. Even though giffgaff doesn't have any support, but O2 doesn't have support anyway. So even if you're going to argue from giffgaff being worse, technically speaking it's not, because O2 has no service. giffgaff doesn't seem to have any either. So I mean, it's the same service. The only difference is cheaper. And I have actually used Vodafone as well, so I can't talk about them. Vodafone service is terrible too. That's why I stopped using them. But O2 is not any. I don't know. It's hard to say if you could even call it better now. But in the past, to compare, just a final bit. In the past, it works like this: you'd be able to phone up any time of day, get help. If you said to them, hey, I want to get a cheaper deal, you get it on the phone quite easy. You can get it in person. Very easy deals. Now, to compare, the whole reason for why exactly people used to use O2, or why O2 was so well respected, was O2 used to give fantastic customer service. That was a big reason for why exactly people were willing to pay more money, because of the customer service. The service was much better. The website used to be a lot better. The service was better. The phone service was better. Everything was better. That was why people paid more money. But instead of appreciating the extra money, they just decided to go complete zero customer service. Horrible app, horrible website, and nothing basically works in any way. You can't trust the service, set for a network. But to be fair, that's the only reason you might want to go to O2 is the service. But again, you can get a cheaper service from by using giffgaff in most cases or other providers. So if the benefit is a network, then O2 might be for you, but everything else in regard to O2 is terrible. That's why I would never recommend it to anyone. Anyway, and that's my thoughts. That's why I give them a 0 out of 10.